So let's expand this conversation with Florida Congresswoman Paulina Luna. Congresswoman, it's good to have you on board. The Progressive Democrat Caucus has made it their official position in 2026 to once again defund the police. This time they're defunding ICE. They are doubling down on what lost them the 2022-2024 elections. I don't know about you. I'm kind of excited about the prospect. What do you say?
Well, look, it's no surprise that the Democrat Party is having trouble raising money, and so I think they're just trying to hold what they have. But you know what's interesting about this whole argument on defunding ICE, defunding law enforcement, is they're failing to report that the officer that was involved in that shooting earlier this past week has actually suffered from internal bleeding, meaning that he was literally hit by a vehicle that is considered a weapon. And so all of this has been, again, an effort and an attempt to, I think, again, do what they tend to do on a regular basis, which is make illegal activity or make crime normal and just turn a blind eye to it. And the fact is that a majority of Americans that voted for President Trump and largely voted for Republicans to hold the House and the Senate this past election cycle did not want law enforcement defunded. So we'll see how it affects the midterms, but I feel pretty hopeful.
Yeah, me too. Meanwhile, both Bill and Hill Clinton have defied subpoenas to testify in the House Oversight Committee's Epstein probe. Chairman James Comer says they have already initiated contempt proceedings, the Republicans have. We all remember when Democrats jailed Bannon and Navarro for doing pretty much the same thing. Should Americans accept anything less than equal treatment under the law? Shouldn't we see the Clintons in jail if they continue to defy lawful subpoenas?
Look, if you're defying a subpoena, you should go to jail for it. And I do think that Republicans will hold the Clintons in contempt of Congress. Now we'll see what happens in the Senate. But again, you cannot defy a congressional subpoena. What's also interesting, though, is that, we'll see how the Democrats vote on this, because Democrats, again, helped pass that bipartisan subpoena for them to come in and testify. And they also have been, I think, very uncomfortable with the fact that they're refusing to testify, trying to say that it's political in nature, when in actuality, if you look at the declassified documents out of the Department of Justice, and you'll see that it's very much so not political, that simply we have questions. Why was Bill Clinton, what was he doing in regards to his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein? But again, it's not a good look. Remember, I was the one that brought the inherent contempt proceedings on Merrick Garland when he was refusing to talk to Congress and hand over those tapes regarding Joe Biden and whether or not he was fit to be president. And so I think I've been pretty consistent on this issue. Let's see if Democrats can hold up the same standard.
I think you have been as well. The Republicans in the House have also filed a second reconciliation bill. Among other things, this bill bans illegal aliens from accessing any taxpayer-funded welfare. Listen.
It prevents illegal immigrants from obtaining all government handouts, cracks down on rampant fraud like the abuse and mess that we've seen in Democrat states like in Minnesota, and reforms funding so only citizens count when we're doling out federal funds to the states.
Well, tell me how this works or what you know about it, Congresswoman, because I'm assuming that the legislation ties all federal funding to the state that goes to the states, so those states can't continue funding illegal aliens by laundering federal money through the states. Is that your understanding?
It's my understanding, but we also know places like California have, exercised loopholes. So you actually have to be specific about how the funds can be spent in regards to once the states pick it up. But I also, too, want them to go a step further. If we have members of Congress that are filing for earmarks in their pet projects, they are engaged in these states that are dealing with, basically funding these illegals and promoting illegal immigration to their state, and then also to breaking federal law and not aiding in the deportation and protection of American citizens, then I don't believe that our taxpayer dollars should be going to those earmarks either, because ultimately what we're doing is we're subsidizing the state when it should be, balancing and also to ensuring that its taxpayer dollars are not funding illegals, period. And so I think it's a step forward in the right direction. I'd like to see it a little bit more strict, but I'm not going to vote it down, that's for sure.
Folks, I thank God for my wonderful wife, my kids, my country, the greatest nation ever. And Americans like you who believe in the truth, the Chris Salcedo Show will never stop fighting for you.
The Chris Salcedo Show, for the news you need to know.